There is something almost magical about the sky at dawn, when the world is still half asleep and the air feels soft against your skin. Before the noise of the day begins, before traffic hums and screens glow, the atmosphere above you is already quietly at work. The sky is not empty. It is not still. It is alive in ways so gentle and vast that we rarely pause long enough to notice. Tonight, as you settle in and allow your breathing to slow, imagine the sky as something that breathes alongside you. A great invisible ocean of air rises and falls, warms and cools, shifts and swirls, all in a slow and endless rhythm. Weather is not simply rain or sunshine. It is the delicate dance of air, heat, water, and light, unfolding every second across the planet. Above your home right now, trillions of tiny molecules are moving in silent motion. They drift, collide, rise, and sink in patterns too large for the eye to see. And yet, those invisible movements decide whether tomorrow will bring golden sunlight, drifting clouds, or a quiet curtain of rain tapping gently against the window. The atmosphere itself is surprisingly thin. If Earth were the size of a large apple, the breathable layer of air would be thinner than its skin. And yet within that delicate shell lives every breeze that has ever brushed across a meadow, every storm that has ever rolled across the sea, and every soft snowfall that has ever blanketed a quiet town at midnight. It is fragile, but it is powerful. Light enough to be unseen, strong enough to carve deserts and shape forests. As the sun rises each morning, it begins a silent exchange of energy. Sunlight travels across millions of miles of space, touching the surface of oceans, mountains, and cities. Some surfaces warm quickly, like dry sand under a summer sky. Others warm slowly, like deep ocean waters that store heat like a memory. This uneven warming is the beginning of motion. Warm air becomes lighter and begins to rise, almost lazily, drifting upward like a slow exhale. Cooler air slides in to take its place. And just like that, the wind is born. If you have ever felt a soft breeze move across your face in the evening, you have felt the sky adjusting itself. Air is always trying to balance differences in temperature and pressure. It is constantly seeking calm, though it rarely finds it for long. High-pressure areas sink gently downward, bringing clear and settled skies. Low-pressure areas allow air to rise, forming clouds that gather and stretch across the horizon. Clouds themselves are tiny miracles. They begin with water vapor, invisible and weightless, rising into cooler air. As it cools, it condenses into microscopic droplets, each one clinging to a tiny particle of dust or salt in the atmosphere. Billions of droplets gather together, floating effortlessly. From below, they appear soft and solid, like cotton drifting in a pale blue sea. But if you could pass through one, you would find only mist and cool moisture, wrapping around you like a dream. There are days when clouds tower high into the sky, building slowly throughout the afternoon. These towering forms are signs of rising warmth, of energy climbing upward in steady columns. Inside them, droplets collide and merge, growing heavier. Eventually, gravity calls them back to Earth as rain. The gentle rhythm of rainfall is simply the sky returning borrowed water to the ground. But not all weather is loud or dramatic. Much of it is subtle. The quiet shift of humidity before dawn. The faint shimmer of heat rising from pavement. The silver glow of frost forming overnight as temperatures dip just enough for moisture to crystallize. Weather is a language spoken in whispers as often as in thunder. As you listen, imagine the planet turning slowly beneath the atmosphere. Earth spins quietly, and that spin shapes the winds. Air moving north or south bends gently because of this rotation, curving in wide arcs. This is why storms swirl. This is why trade winds follow steady paths across oceans. The planet's motion guides the air like a slow, invisible hand. Even now, somewhere across the world, monsoon rains are nourishing distant fields. Somewhere else, dry desert winds are lifting grains of sand into delicate spirals. And in polar regions, icy air rests heavily against frozen ground, forming crystalline patterns in the cold. Weather connects every corner of the Earth. The warmth of tropical oceans can influence snowfall thousands of miles away. A distant volcanic eruption can send particles high into the atmosphere, painting sunsets in deeper shades of orange and red for months. The sky above you is part of a vast and shared system, one continuous breath moving around the globe. And yet, despite its scale, weather is deeply personal. It shapes the mood of mornings. It determines whether we reach for a coat or open a window. It can bring comfort in the sound of steady rain at night, or energy in the brightness of a clear blue afternoon. The most beautiful part is this: the atmosphere never stops moving. Even when the air feels still, it is alive with subtle currents. Even in silence, the sky is breathing. So tonight, as you drift further into relaxation, imagine yourself lying beneath that endless ocean of air. Above you, layers of atmosphere stretch upward, growing thinner and colder, fading into the darkness of space. Below you, the earth turns steadily. Around you, invisible currents continue their gentle motion. The sky breathes in warmth. The sky breathes out wind. Clouds gather and dissolve like passing thoughts. Rain falls, evaporates, and rises again in an endless cycle. And in this quiet understanding, there is comfort. Weather is not chaos. It is rhythm. It is balance. It is the planet's slow and patient conversation with the sun, the oceans, and itself. As the night deepens and your thoughts soften, remember that above you, the sky continues its calm and endless breathing. As you continue to rest beneath the quiet rhythm of the sky, imagine for a moment that the air around you has substance, that it is not emptiness but something soft and steady, wrapping around your shoulders like an invisible blanket. Though we rarely notice it, air has weight. It presses gently against your skin, against your home, against the surface of oceans and forests and cities. Every breath you take is drawn from a vast sea of molecules that stack one upon another, forming what scientists call atmospheric pressure. And yet, instead of feeling heavy, this pressure is balanced so perfectly with the pressure inside your body that it becomes something you never consciously sense. If you could see air, truly see it, you might be surprised at how alive it is. Tiny particles drift in sunlight, dancing slowly in the quiet glow of a morning window. Each speck of dust, each grain of pollen, each microscopic droplet of water floats because the air supports it. The atmosphere is not still. It is a dynamic ocean, layered and flowing, shaped by temperature and movement. Just as deep ocean currents carry warm and cold water across the globe, invisible air currents carry energy across continents. When warm air rises, it creates a space beneath it. Cooler air nearby feels that difference and begins to move toward it. This subtle shifting creates areas of low pressure where air ascends and areas of high pressure where air descends. High pressure feels calm and settled. It brings clear skies, gentle sunlight, and quiet evenings. Low pressure feels more active, more curious. It allows clouds to build and winds to gather. You may have noticed how the air feels different before a storm. It can seem heavier, softer, almost expectant. That sensation is not imagined. As pressure drops, the atmosphere changes slightly around you. The difference is small, but your body can sense it. Some people even feel these changes in their joints or as a quiet shift in mood. The sky, in its own way, announces what is coming. Pressure differences are the reason winds form. Wind is simply air moving from high pressure toward low pressure, seeking balance. It is nature's way of smoothing out unevenness. And yet, because the earth spins slowly beneath this moving air, the wind does not travel in straight lines. It curves gently, guided by the planet's rotation. This is why large weather systems spiral so gracefully when viewed from above. Imagine standing on a wide open plain. The grass moves in soft waves as the breeze passes over it. That movement began perhaps hundreds of miles away, where temperature differences first stirred the air. The wind that brushes your cheek tonight may have once passed over a distant coastline or across a cool mountain range. Air travels far, carrying with it heat, moisture, and sometimes even faint traces of distant scents. At higher altitudes, powerful rivers of air flow continuously around the planet. These are jet streams, narrow bands of fast-moving wind that circle the globe high above the surface. Though invisible to us, they guide storms and influence temperatures far below. When jet streams dip southward, they can pull cold air into warmer regions. When they shift northward, They allow warmth to spread gently upward. These high-altitude winds are like quiet architects, shaping the seasons without ever being seen. Closer to the ground, local pressure differences create smaller, more intimate weather patterns. During the day, land heats up faster than nearby water. Warm air rises over the land, and cooler air from the water moves in to replace it, forming a sea breeze. At night, the pattern reverses. The land cools more quickly, and air flows gently back toward the water. These cycles are subtle but constant, repeating day after day in coastal regions around the world. Even mountains influence pressure and wind. When air encounters a mountain range, it is forced upward. As it rises, it cools, and clouds may form along the peaks. On the other side, descending air warms and dries, creating different climates within relatively short distances. A single mountain can divide lush forests from arid valleys, all because of the way air flows over stone. And then there are moments of stillness. Early mornings when the air feels almost motionless, when fog rests low over fields and the world seems hushed. This often occurs when high pressure dominates, pressing downward gently, stabilizing the atmosphere. In these moments, the sky feels protective and calm. The weight of air also changes with altitude. As you climb higher into mountains, the air becomes thinner. There is less pressure pressing downward because there is less atmosphere above you. Breathing feels different. Each inhale contains fewer molecules of oxygen. It is a reminder of how layered our atmosphere truly is, how it gradually fades as it stretches toward space. And yet, despite its weight and movement, air remains invisible and patient. It surrounds you constantly without demanding attention. It carries warmth from equatorial regions toward the poles. It transports moisture that will one day fall as rain or snow. It shifts and swirls in patterns that scientists map carefully, trying to understand its rhythms. The gentle weight of air is part of what makes life possible. Without atmospheric pressure, liquid water could not exist at Earth's surface. Without air to distribute heat, temperatures would swing wildly between extremes. The atmosphere acts as a buffer, a protector, and a quiet distributor of energy. As you continue to relax, imagine the air above you layered like a soft, transparent quilt. Each layer slightly different in temperature and density. Each layer moving slowly in response to sunlight and rotation. The entire system balanced delicately, yet strong enough to shape oceans and carve landscapes over time. The sky is not empty. It presses gently downward, steady and constant. It moves softly across valleys and over rooftops. It adjusts itself endlessly, seeking balance but never fully still. And as you drift deeper into comfort, remember that the gentle weight of air is holding the world together in ways so quiet and consistent that we rarely pause to appreciate them. The atmosphere breathes, shifts, and balances itself with patience that stretches across centuries. It is the unseen companion of every sunrise and every midnight breeze, steady and calm above us all. If you listen closely on a quiet night, you might hear the soft rhythm of rain against a distant rooftop, or perhaps the gentle whisper of a river moving slowly through the dark. Water has a way of soothing the mind, of wrapping the world in a calm and steady presence. And yet, the water that falls as rain tonight may once have drifted high above oceans, traveled across continents as invisible vapor, or rested silently for centuries inside a glacier of blue ice. Weather, in many ways, is the story of water on a journey that never truly ends. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean just as the sun begins to rise. The surface glows with soft gold light, and the air feels fresh and cool. As sunlight warms the water, tiny molecules at the surface begin to move faster. Some move quickly enough to escape into the air, rising invisibly as water vapor. This process is called evaporation, but it feels almost like a quiet transformation as liquid becomes something lighter than air. Every second, countless droplets lift from oceans, lakes, rivers, and even damp soil, beginning a new chapter in the sky. This rising vapor is invisible, drifting upward on currents of warm air. As it climbs higher, the atmosphere grows cooler. Cooler air cannot hold as much moisture, so the vapor begins to slow down and gather. It clings to microscopic particles floating in the air, Tiny grains of dust, bits of salt carried from the sea, even fragments of pollen. Around these minuscule anchors, droplets form. Billions of them cluster together, creating clouds that float gently overhead. Clouds may appear soft and weightless, but each one holds astonishing amounts of water. A single large cloud can contain millions of liters suspended high in the sky. And yet, because the droplets are so small and spread out, they remain afloat, carried by rising currents of air. From below, they look like drifting islands in a pale blue ocean, constantly reshaping themselves in slow motion. As clouds grow thicker, droplets collide and merge, becoming heavier. Inside towering storm clouds, these collisions happen rapidly, like a silent choreography. Eventually, gravity becomes stronger than the air holding them up. And so they fall. Rain begins its descent, each drop shaped by its journey downward. Some fall gently in steady curtains, tapping softly against leaves. Others fall in heavier bursts, splashing into puddles and sending ripples across still surfaces. But rain is only one form of water's return. When temperatures are colder, droplets freeze into delicate ice crystals. These crystals join together in patterns so intricate that no two snowflakes are ever exactly alike. Each one forms according to subtle changes in temperature and humidity as it drifts downward. Snow falls more quietly than rain, muffling sound, blanketing landscapes in soft white silence. Hail forms differently still. Within powerful storm clouds, strong upward winds carry droplets high into freezing air again and again. Layers of ice build around them until they grow too heavy to remain suspended. When they fall, they carry the story of their turbulent journey inside layered shells of frozen water. And yet, the story does not end when water reaches the ground. Some of it seeps into soil, nourishing roots hidden below the surface. Some flows into streams that wind through forests and fields. Rivers carry water steadily back toward the ocean, completing the cycle in a slow and patient arc. Even the water that sinks deep underground may one day rise again through springs or wells. There are times when water lingers for years, decades, even centuries. Glaciers form when snow accumulates faster than it melts. Layer upon layer compresses into dense blue ice, trapping air bubbles like tiny time capsules. In polar regions and high mountains, these frozen rivers move slowly, almost imperceptibly, carving valleys and shaping landscapes over thousands of years. Eventually, even glaciers melt, releasing water that rejoins rivers and seas. Plants, too, are part of this quiet journey. Through their roots, they draw water upward, carrying it through delicate vessels to leaves high above the ground. When sunlight warms those leaves, water escapes again as vapor in a process called transpiration. Forests breathe moisture into the air, contributing to clouds that may later drift far away. Entire rainforests help create the very rainfall that sustains them, forming a gentle partnership between land and sky. Even you are part of this cycle. Each breath you exhale contains moisture. Each drop of water you drink has traveled unimaginable distances across time. The water within your body may once have been part of an ancient sea or a drifting cloud centuries ago. It moves through you, quietly participating in the endless exchange between Earth and atmosphere. Weather is deeply shaped by this continuous circulation of water. Tropical regions, warmed by intense sunlight, release enormous amounts of vapor into the air. This fuels towering cloud systems and heavy rains. In contrast, dry deserts receive little moisture because prevailing winds carry vapor elsewhere. The distribution of water shapes climates, ecosystems, and the rhythms of life itself. There is something profoundly calming in knowing that water never disappears. It transforms. It moves. It waits. It rises invisibly and returns visibly. It freezes, melts, flows, and evaporates in a cycle so steady that it has continued for billions of years. Tonight, as you relax further, imagine the gentle rise of vapor from a quiet lake under moonlight. Picture clouds forming slowly in cool night air. Visualize rain falling softly on distant hills, feeding streams that will one day reach the sea. The journey of water is patient and unhurried. It does not rush. It does not strain. It follows warmth and gravity in a rhythm as old as the planet itself. The secret journey of water is happening even now. Somewhere, droplets are lifting skyward. Somewhere else, snow is drifting downward in perfect silence. Rivers are flowing. Ice is melting. Leaves are releasing moisture into the air. And as you settle deeper into rest, you can feel comfort in this endless cycle. Water is always moving, always transforming, always returning. It is the quiet traveler of the atmosphere, the gentle architect of clouds, the soft percussion of rain on glass. Its journey never truly ends, and in its steady rhythm, there is peace. There is a quiet moment just before sunrise when the sky is neither dark nor light, when the world feels suspended between night and day. In that gentle in-between, colors begin to bloom across the horizon. Soft blues fade into lavender, pale pink stretches like a whisper above distant hills, and warm gold slowly spills into the air. It can feel almost magical, as though the sky itself is painting a masterpiece each morning and evening, never repeating the same brushstroke twice. Yet behind this beauty lies a simple and elegant science, one that transforms invisible light into the colors that calm and inspire us. Sunlight may appear white at first glance, but it carries within it a hidden spectrum of colors. If passed through a prism, that light separates into a gentle rainbow of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. Each color travels as a wave, and each wave has a slightly different length. These differences are subtle, yet they shape the very appearance of the sky above us. During the day, when the sun stands high overhead, its light travels a relatively short path through the atmosphere before reaching your eyes. As it passes through the air, it interacts with tiny molecules of nitrogen and oxygen. These molecules scatter shorter wavelengths of light, especially blue, more effectively than longer wavelengths like red. This process, known as Rayleigh scattering, gently spreads blue light across the sky in all directions. And so, when you look upward on a clear afternoon, you see a vast dome of soft blue stretching endlessly above. But as the sun begins to sink toward the horizon, something changes. The light must travel a much longer distance through the atmosphere before reaching you. Along that longer path, much of the shorter blue light is scattered away from your direct line of sight. What remains are the longer wavelengths, reds, oranges, and golds. This is why sunsets and sunrises glow so warmly, as though the sky has been dipped in honeyed light. Sometimes the colors grow even more dramatic. After a rainstorm, when the air is freshly washed of dust and particles, the sky can appear especially vivid. Other times, when tiny particles from distant deserts or volcanic eruptions linger in the atmosphere, they enhance scattering in unique ways, deepening reds and purples into breathtaking displays. Each sunset is shaped not only by the angle of the sun but by the invisible composition of the air itself. Clouds add another layer of artistry. High, thin cirrus clouds catch sunlight long after the sun has dipped below the horizon, glowing pink and gold against deepening blue. Thick clouds may reflect light in broad washes of color, creating dramatic contrasts between brightness and shadow. Even the underside of a cloud can transform into a canvas, reflecting warm hues from below. There are moments when the sky appears almost entirely white or gray. On overcast days, clouds scatter sunlight in many directions, blending colors together into a softer tone. The world beneath feels quieter under such skies, as though wrapped in a gentle veil. Gray clouds often signal moisture gathering, a reminder that color and weather are closely connected. And then there is the phenomenon of rainbows, delicate arcs of color that form when sunlight meets falling rain. As light enters a raindrop, it bends, reflects inside, and bends again as it exits. In this process, white light separates into its component colors, creating a spectrum that curves gracefully across the sky. Each observer sees their own rainbow, formed by droplets positioned at just the right angle relative to their eyes. It is a private yet shared miracle. Even the deep blue of twilight holds quiet science. As daylight fades, scattered blue light diminishes, and darker tones settle in. But before full night arrives, a period known as the blue hour bathes landscapes in cool, calming shades. Photographers cherish this time, when the sky glows gently and shadows soften. It feels peaceful because the intensity of sunlight has eased, leaving behind a tranquil balance between light and dark. At higher altitudes, the sky deepens further. In mountain regions, where the air is thinner and contains fewer scattering molecules, the sky can appear a darker, richer blue during the day. Pilots and astronauts witness this transition dramatically, watching the sky shift from bright azure to deep indigo as altitude increases. Eventually, at the edge of space, the sky turns black, revealing the stars even in daylight. Dust, pollution, humidity, all influence how we perceive the sky's colors. Tiny particles suspended in air scatter light differently depending on their size. Larger particles tend to scatter all colors more evenly, leading to pale or milky skies. Clean, dry air produces sharper blues. Moist air can soften and diffuse light, creating hazy pastels. And yet, beyond the science, there is something deeply emotional about the sky's palette. A fiery sunset can stir awe and reflection. A pale winter morning can feel serene and quiet. The shifting colors mirror the shifting moods of the atmosphere itself. They remind us that the air above is not static, but alive with movement and transformation. As you settle deeper into relaxation, picture the sky slowly changing colors in gentle sequence. Imagine the warmth of orange light brushing across distant clouds. See the gradual fading into violet and indigo as stars begin to appear one by one. Feel the calm that arrives when the world darkens, and the vastness above becomes a silent tapestry of constellations. The colors of the sky are the visible signature of invisible processes. Light traveling across space, molecules scattering waves, particles drifting in quiet suspension. It is a dance between energy and air unfolding constantly above us. Tomorrow, when the sun rises again, the sky will paint itself anew. The shades may differ slightly, influenced by moisture, temperature, and distant winds. But the underlying rhythm remains the same. Light arrives. Air scatters it. Colors bloom and fade. And as night deepens now, you can rest knowing that above you, even in darkness, the sky holds the promise of color waiting patiently for the next dawn. There is something deeply calming about the sound of wind moving gently through trees at night. It does not rush. It does not demand attention. It simply flows, weaving its way through branches, across rooftops, over open fields, carrying with it the quiet signature of distant places. Wind can feel invisible and light, yet it has traveled far, shaped by forces that begin with something as simple as sunlight warming the earth. At its heart, wind is the movement of air from one place to another. It begins when the sun heats the planet unevenly. Some regions receive more warmth, some less. Dark surfaces absorb heat quickly, while lighter surfaces reflect it. Oceans warm more slowly than land, storing heat like a memory that lingers into the night. These subtle differences create gentle imbalances in temperature and pressure. And air, always seeking balance, begins to move. When warm air rises, it leaves behind an area of lower pressure near the surface. Cooler, denser air flows toward that space to replace it. This horizontal movement is what we feel as wind. It may begin softly, barely stirring leaves. Or it may grow stronger, bending grasses in steady waves. In each case, it is simply air adjusting itself, smoothing out the unevenness of warmth across the globe. But wind does not move in straight lines. The Earth rotates beneath the atmosphere, and this motion gently deflects the path of moving air. In the northern hemisphere, winds curve slightly to the right. In the southern hemisphere, they curve to the left. This effect, known as the Coriolis force, gives rise to large, graceful patterns that circle the planet. It shapes trade winds, guides storms, and influences ocean currents. High above the surface, powerful winds race around the globe in narrow bands called jet streams. These swift rivers of air can travel at astonishing speeds, steering weather systems across continents. They rise and dip in broad arcs, sometimes bringing cold air southward, sometimes allowing warmth to expand northward. Though invisible from below, their influence reaches down to the ground, shaping the daily rhythm of weather. Closer to home, smaller winds tell more intimate stories. During the day along a coastline, land warms faster than water. Warm air rises above the land, and cooler air from the sea flows inland to replace it. This creates a sea breeze, often arriving in the afternoon with refreshing coolness. At night, the pattern reverses. The land cools more quickly, and air drifts back toward the water in what is known as a land breeze. These gentle cycles repeat daily, quiet and dependable. In valleys and mountainous regions, wind moves differently still. As the sun warms mountain slopes during the day, air rises along the terrain, creating upslope breezes. At night, as slopes cool, air descends into valleys in soft, flowing currents. These mountain winds are often subtle, yet they shape local climates and influence the formation of fog and clouds. Sometimes wind gathers more energy. When temperature differences grow large, pressure differences strengthen. Air moves more quickly in its effort to restore balance. This can lead to strong gusts, swirling eddies, and powerful storms. Yet even in these moments, wind is not random. It follows patterns dictated by pressure, temperature, and rotation. There is also something remarkable about what wind carries. It transports moisture from oceans to land, delivering the vapor that becomes rain. It lifts seeds high into the air, allowing plants to spread across landscapes. It shapes sand dunes and deserts, carving smooth ridges that shift with each passing season. It even carries scents, salt from distant seas, pine from deep forests, the faint promise of rain long before clouds appear overhead. Wind is a traveler. The breeze touching your skin tonight may have crossed mountains, rivers, and plains before arriving where you are. It may carry traces of distant places, subtle and undetectable, yet present all the same. In this way, wind connects regions separated by thousands of miles, weaving them into one shared atmosphere. There are moments when wind falls still, when the air feels calm and unmoving. Yet even in these quiet pauses, the atmosphere above continues to shift. Stillness is often temporary, a gentle breath held before movement resumes. The earth never stops turning. The sun never stops warming. The balance is always adjusting. In the natural world, many creatures depend on wind's rhythm. Birds glide on rising thermals, conserving energy as they circle high above the ground. Sailboats harness its steady push to cross open waters. Even wind turbines, tall and patient, convert its motion into energy that lights homes at night. The sound of wind can be as varied as its motion. It can whisper softly through tall grass. It can murmur against window panes. It can sing low and steady across open plains. Each sound reflects the surfaces it meets, the obstacles it flows around, the speed at which it travels. As you relax further, imagine a gentle breeze passing over a quiet meadow beneath a twilight sky. Picture it moving through silver blades of grass, lifting them slightly before letting them settle again. Feel how natural and effortless its motion is. It does not strain. It does not force. It simply follows the path shaped by temperature and pressure. Wind reminds us that the atmosphere is alive. It is not static or silent. It flows continuously, redistributing heat, moisture, and energy across the planet. It is part of the same breathing rhythm we explored earlier, the sky inhaling warmth, exhaling motion. And tonight, as you drift closer to sleep, you might notice the faintest movement of air around you. Even indoors, subtle currents shift and circulate. Outside, the breeze may be traveling softly under moonlight, brushing treetops and rooftops in its quiet journey. The whisper of the wind is the sound of balance being restored. It is the voice of the atmosphere in motion, gentle yet persistent, invisible yet powerful. And in its steady flow, there is a sense of calm continuity, a reminder that the world above and around you is always moving in soft, endless rhythm. If you have ever lain on your back and watched clouds drift slowly across a wide blue sky, you may have felt as though you were observing silent ships sailing through an invisible ocean. They change shape so gradually that the transformation feels almost dreamlike. A towering mass softens at its edges. A thin veil stretches and fades. A cluster breaks apart into delicate fragments. Clouds seem weightless and effortless, yet they are carefully built structures formed by precise conditions in the atmosphere. They are the architecture of weather, shaped by temperature, moisture, and motion. Every cloud begins with rising air. When the sun warms the Earth's surface, the air just above it becomes warmer too. Warm air is lighter than cool air, so it begins to rise. As it ascends, it enters regions of lower pressure. This causes it to expand slightly, and as it expands, it cools. Cooling air cannot hold as much water vapor as warm air, so the vapor begins to condense into tiny droplets. Each droplet forms around a microscopic particle floating in the air, a grain of dust, a bit of sea salt, or even a fragment of smoke. These tiny anchors allow moisture to gather and remain suspended. When billions of droplets cluster together, a cloud appears. There are many kinds of clouds, each shaped by the altitude at which it forms and the stability of the surrounding air. High above the Earth, where the air is thin and cold, clouds often form from ice crystals rather than liquid droplets. These high-level clouds, known as cirrus, stretch across the sky like delicate feathers. They are thin and wispy, often signaling changes in weather approaching from afar. Lower in the sky, you may see puffy clouds that resemble soft piles of cotton. These are cumulus clouds, often forming on sunny days when rising warm air creates gentle columns called thermals. They grow vertically, building upward as long as warm air continues to rise beneath them. From below, they appear bright white against the blue, their edges sharply lit by sunlight. Sometimes, when the atmosphere is especially unstable and full of energy, cumulus clouds grow taller and taller, transforming into cumulonimbus clouds. These are the giants of the sky, towering high into the upper atmosphere. Inside them, strong upward and downward currents move droplets and ice crystals in constant motion. They can bring heavy rain, lightning, and even hail. Yet even these powerful structures begin quietly, with warm air rising in gentle currents. Then there are stratus clouds, which form in layers. They spread like a gray blanket across the sky, often bringing overcast conditions. Unlike the vertical growth of cumulus clouds, stratus clouds form when broad layers of air rise slowly and steadily. They create soft, even light beneath them, muting shadows and giving the world a calm, subdued feeling. Clouds can also form when air is forced upward by terrain. As wind encounters a mountain range, it rises along the slope. The rising air cools, and moisture condenses into clouds that cling to peaks. On the other side of the mountain, descending air warms and dries, often creating a striking contrast in climate. In this way, landscapes shape the sky as much as the sky shapes landscapes. There are moments when clouds appear to stand still, suspended in quiet balance. In reality, they are constantly forming and dissolving. Droplets evaporate at the edges even as new droplets condense within. A cloud is not a fixed object but a continuous process. It exists only because the conditions allow it to exist. Light interacts with clouds in beautiful ways. Thick clouds scatter sunlight broadly, creating bright white forms during the day. At sunrise or sunset, low angles of light illuminate them from below, painting them in gold, pink, and orange. Thin clouds may allow sunlight to filter through, producing halos or soft glows around the sun or moon. Even fog is a kind of cloud, though it rests at ground level. It forms when air near the surface cools enough for moisture to condense. In fog, visibility shortens, sounds soften, and the world feels intimate and enclosed. It is as though the sky has gently descended to meet the earth. Clouds also play a vital role in regulating temperature. During the day, they reflect some sunlight back into space, preventing excessive warming. At night, they act like a blanket, trapping heat near the surface and slowing cooling. In this way, clouds help maintain balance in the planet's energy system. The patterns of clouds can tell quiet stories about the atmosphere's state. Scattered cumulus clouds suggest gentle rising air. A thickening veil of high clouds may signal an approaching weather system. Rippling wave-like clouds can reveal layers of air moving at different speeds. Meteorologists study these shapes carefully, reading the sky like a living map. Yet for all their scientific significance, clouds remain deeply poetic. They invite imagination. They drift slowly enough to calm the mind. Watching them can feel like observing thoughts passing through awareness, forming, shifting, dissolving. As you settle further into relaxation, picture a vast sky filled with slow-moving clouds. Imagine their soft edges glowing in the fading light. Feel how they float without effort, carried by currents too gentle to see. Know that each cloud is a temporary gathering of moisture, part of a cycle that will continue long after it fades from view. The architecture of clouds is both delicate and powerful. It is built from invisible vapor, shaped by rising air, and illuminated by sunlight traveling millions of miles. Each formation is unique, yet each follows the same simple principles of warmth, cooling, and condensation. Above you tonight, clouds may be drifting quietly under moonlight, or perhaps the sky is clear and moisture is waiting to rise tomorrow. Either way, the atmosphere continues its quiet construction, assembling and reshaping these floating structures in endless variation. And as your thoughts grow lighter, you can imagine yourself floating just beneath them, resting under the gentle architecture of the sky, where clouds gather and disperse in calm and timeless rhythm. There are moments when the sky grows darker than usual, when the air feels charged and expectant, and the world seems to pause in a kind of hushed anticipation. Leaves turn their undersides to the wind. Distant thunder murmurs like a low drumbeat beyond the horizon. A storm is gathering, and though storms can appear dramatic and powerful, at their heart they are simply intensified expressions of the same gentle processes we have already explored: warm air rising, moisture condensing, pressure adjusting. A storm is the atmosphere stretching its energy a little further than usual. Imagine a warm afternoon when sunlight has been heating the ground for hours. The air near the surface grows warmer and lighter, rising steadily upward in columns. If the atmosphere above is cooler and unstable, this rising air continues climbing higher and higher. As it ascends, it cools, and water vapor condenses into droplets, forming a growing cloud. If the upward motion is strong enough, that cloud becomes tall and towering, reaching miles into the sky. Inside such a cloud, something remarkable happens. Droplets and ice crystals are carried upward and downward in powerful currents. They collide, merge, freeze, and melt in a complex dance. Electric charges begin to separate within the cloud. Positive and negative regions form, building tension quietly. And when the difference becomes great enough, the sky releases that energy in a sudden flash of lightning. Lightning is both swift and ancient. It is a brilliant discharge of built-up electricity, heating the surrounding air so rapidly that the air expands explosively. This expansion creates a shock wave that we hear as thunder. The sound may arrive seconds after the flash, rolling across the landscape in deep, resonant waves. Though thunder can seem loud and startling, it is simply the sound of air reacting to sudden warmth. Rain within a storm can fall in heavy sheets or soft bursts. Droplets that have grown large enough descend quickly, cooling the air beneath the cloud. Sometimes this cool air spreads outward along the ground, creating gusty winds that announce the storm's arrival. The scent of rain, fresh and earthy, often reaches you before the first drop touches the earth. This fragrance comes from oils released by plants and compounds lifted from soil, carried forward by the wind. Not all storms are the same. Some are brief and isolated, blooming in the afternoon and fading by evening. Others stretch across entire regions, organized into broad systems that bring steady rainfall over many hours. Along coastlines, warm ocean waters can fuel vast rotating storms that gather strength over open seas. These large systems, guided by the planet's rotation, spin gracefully as they move, redistributing heat from warm regions toward cooler ones. Yet even in their strength, storms serve a purpose. They release built-up energy in the atmosphere. They transport moisture from one place to another. They cool overheated air and nourish landscapes thirsty for rain. Forests, grasslands, and farms all depend on the water delivered by storms. Rivers swell gently after rainfall, replenishing reservoirs and sustaining life downstream. There is also a surprising beauty within storms. Lightning illuminates clouds from within, revealing intricate structures in flashes of silver light. Rain falling against a window can create a steady rhythm that soothes the mind. The shifting shades of gray in a stormy sky carry depth and texture, like layers of soft charcoal brushed across a canvas. Sometimes, at the edge of a storm, sunlight breaks through gaps in the clouds. Shafts of golden light stream downward, illuminating patches of earth in glowing contrast. Rain may still be falling in the distance, while the sky above you begins to clear. These transitions remind us that storms are temporary. They build, they release, and they pass. There are gentler storms too, long, steady rains that last through the night, tapping softly on rooftops. These quiet systems often form when warm, moist air gradually rises over cooler air along a boundary called a front. The uplift is slow and steady, producing widespread clouds and continuous rainfall. Such nights can feel deeply comforting, as though the sky is wrapping the world in a curtain of sound. In colder regions, storms may deliver snow instead of rain. Snowstorms transform landscapes into hushed, white expanses. Sound is muffled. Edges soften. The world appears simpler and calmer beneath a blanket of ice crystals drifting silently from the sky. As you continue to relax, imagine a distant storm rolling across open plains under twilight. Picture the slow build of clouds rising into towering shapes. See flashes of lightning far away, illuminating the horizon without urgency. Hear the low rumble of thunder, softened by distance. Feel how even this display of power remains part of a larger, balanced system. Storms are not separate from the gentle sky we explored before. They are the same sky, responding to warmth and moisture with greater intensity. They are moments when energy moves more quickly, when balance is restored with a stronger gesture. And always, after a storm, there is calm. The air feels cleaner. The light seems sharper. The ground glistens softly. Clouds thin and drift apart. The atmosphere settles once again into quieter motion. Tonight, wherever you are, storms may be forming somewhere across the globe. Lightning may be flickering in distant clouds. Rain may be nourishing faraway fields. And yet above you, the sky continues its steady rhythm, sometimes gentle, sometimes bold, always following the same timeless laws of air and warmth. As your thoughts grow softer, remember that even the strongest storm is simply the atmosphere breathing deeply, releasing what it has gathered, and returning once more to calm. There is a subtle moment each year when the air begins to feel different. It is not sudden. It does not announce itself loudly. Instead, it arrives as a quiet shift, a cooler breeze at dusk, a slightly longer shadow in the afternoon, a warmth that lingers a little more gently than before. The seasons do not change overnight. They turn slowly, like pages in a book written by sunlight and time. The story of the seasons begins with a simple tilt. The Earth does not stand upright as it orbits the Sun. It leans slightly, tilted at about 23.5 degrees. This small angle changes everything. As the planet travels around the Sun during the year, different regions receive varying amounts of sunlight. When one hemisphere tilts toward the Sun, it experiences longer days and more direct light. When it tilts away, days shorten and sunlight arrives at a softer angle. In summer, the Sun climbs higher in the sky. Its rays strike the surface more directly, concentrating warmth over longer hours of daylight. The ground absorbs this energy, heating the air above it. Warm air rises easily, clouds form more readily, and afternoons can feel full and alive. The warmth seeps into soil, into trees, into oceans. Even after sunset, the stored heat lingers, keeping nights mild and calm. As months pass, the Earth continues its orbit, and the angle of sunlight begins to shift. Days grow shorter, and the sun's path across the sky lowers slightly. The warmth becomes less intense. This gradual transition is autumn, a season of gentle cooling and golden light. Leaves respond to the reduced sunlight by slowing their production of chlorophyll, revealing hidden pigments of red, orange, and yellow. The air feels crisper. Mornings carry a faint chill that wasn't there before. Winter arrives not because the Earth is farther from the Sun. In fact, it is sometimes slightly closer, but because of the tilt. Sunlight reaches the surface at a shallower angle, spreading its energy over a larger area. Days are shorter, nights longer. The ground loses more heat than it gains. Cold air settles more frequently, and moisture may fall as snow if temperatures drop low enough. The atmosphere feels quieter, as though conserving its energy. Yet even in winter, the sun continues its steady path. After the shortest day of the year, daylight begins to increase again, almost imperceptibly at first. The Earth continues its orbit, and slowly, warmth returns. Spring emerges not as a sudden burst, but as a gradual unfolding. Buds appear on branches. Breezes soften. Rain falls gently, feeding new growth. The balance tips once more toward longer days and renewed warmth. The oceans play a profound role in shaping the feel of each season. Water heats and cools more slowly than land, acting as a stabilizing force. Coastal regions often experience milder seasonal shifts because the ocean releases stored warmth during cooler months and absorbs excess heat during warmer ones. Inland areas, far from large bodies of water, can experience sharper contrasts between summer and winter. In higher latitudes, seasonal differences are even more dramatic. Near the poles, summer can bring nearly continuous daylight, while winter may hold long stretches of darkness. These extreme variations are all part of the same tilt-driven rhythm, amplified by geography. There is something deeply comforting in the predictability of seasons. They return year after year, following a path that has remained steady for millions of years. Crops are planted and harvested according to their timing. Animals migrate, hibernate, or adapt their behaviors in response to changing light and temperature. Even human routines shift subtly with the calendar. Lighter clothing in summer, warm blankets in winter. Yet within this predictability lies endless variation. No two summers are exactly the same. Some winters are gentle, others harsh. Atmospheric patterns shift slightly each year, influenced by ocean temperatures, wind patterns, and distant weather systems. The broad rhythm remains constant, but the details change like melodies played over a steady drumbeat. As you rest now, imagine the Earth slowly turning in its orbit, leaning gently as it travels around the sun. Picture sunlight reaching different parts of the globe in shifting patterns. Somewhere, it is early spring with blossoms just beginning to open. Somewhere else, autumn leaves are drifting quietly to the ground. In another place, summer warmth lingers into the evening, while far north, snow blankets silent landscapes. The seasons are not abrupt transitions but gradual transformations. They teach patience. They remind us that change can be slow and steady, unfolding over weeks and months. They demonstrate how even a small tilt can shape the entire experience of life on a planet. Above you tonight, the same stars shine regardless of season. The atmosphere continues its gentle movement, adjusting to the sun's angle, redistributing warmth across oceans and continents. The cycle continues, dependable and calm. And as your thoughts grow quieter, you can find peace in this slow turning. The seasons will continue their patient rotation long after this night has passed. Summer will give way to autumn, autumn to winter, winter to spring. Light will lengthen and shorten. Warmth will rise and fall. The Earth leans. It circles the sun. And in that simple motion, the seasons breathe in and out, carrying the world gently through time. If you stand beside the sea at night, when the world is quiet and the horizon melts into darkness, you can sense that the ocean is never truly still. Even when waves appear gentle, there is a slow, steady pulse beneath them. The tide moves in and out. Swells rise and fall in patient rhythm. The ocean breathes, and with each breath, it shapes the weather of the entire planet. The ocean covers more than 2/3 of the Earth's surface. It absorbs vast amounts of sunlight during the day, storing heat deep within its waters. Unlike land, which warms and cools quickly, water changes temperature slowly. This quality allows the ocean to act as a giant reservoir of energy. It gathers warmth during sunny months and releases it gradually over time, softening temperature extremes across coastal regions. When sunlight warms the surface of tropical oceans, something powerful begins. Warm water heats the air above it. That air becomes lighter and rises, creating areas of lower pressure. As it rises, cooler air flows in to replace it. This constant exchange fuels cloud formation and rainfall in equatorial regions. The process is gentle at times, intense at others, but it is continuous. In this way, the ocean feeds the sky with both heat and moisture. Evaporation is strongest where the sun's rays are most direct. Countless water molecules rise invisibly from the ocean's surface every second, becoming vapor that travels on the wind. This moisture may drift thousands of miles before returning as rain. Tropical oceans, in particular, supply immense amounts of vapor that sustain monsoons, nourish forests, and replenish rivers far inland. Beneath the surface, ocean currents move in slow, powerful streams. Some are driven by wind at the surface, while others are guided by differences in temperature and salinity deep below. Warm currents carry heat away from the equator toward higher latitudes. Cooler currents flow back toward the tropics. This global circulation, sometimes called the ocean conveyor belt, redistributes energy across the planet, moderating climates in distant regions. For example, warm currents flowing toward northern coasts can make those regions milder than other places at similar latitudes. Meanwhile, cold currents can cool nearby land, influencing rainfall patterns and even contributing to the formation of deserts along certain coastlines. The ocean's hidden rivers shape weather quietly but profoundly. There are times when ocean temperatures shift in ways that ripple across the globe. In the Pacific, for instance, natural cycles can cause surface waters to become warmer or cooler than usual. These shifts influence wind patterns and rainfall distribution over vast distances. Regions may experience heavier rains, while others face drier conditions. Though the changes unfold over months, their impact can be felt worldwide. Storms, too, draw strength from warm ocean waters. When conditions align, rising warm air above heated seas can organize into rotating systems. These storms gather energy from the ocean's warmth, intensifying as long as they remain over water. Once they move over land, cut off from their source of heat and moisture, they gradually weaken. The ocean is both creator and sustainer of such systems. Yet beyond storms, the ocean's influence is steady and calming. Sea breezes arise from daily differences between land and water temperatures. Coastal fog can form when moist air moves over cooler waters. Even the simple presence of a large body of water can moderate seasonal extremes, preventing scorching summers or bitter winters. The surface of the ocean also reflects sunlight back into space, helping regulate the planet's energy balance. Meanwhile, phytoplankton, microscopic organisms drifting near the surface, interact with sunlight and carbon dioxide, playing subtle roles in both climate and the air we breathe. The ocean is not just water, it is a living, breathing component of Earth's climate system. At night, when the sun has set and the air cools, the ocean releases some of the heat it absorbed during the day. This gentle release can keep coastal air milder than inland regions. It is as though the sea exhales warmth after holding it quietly in reserve. Waves themselves are often shaped by distant winds. A swell reaching a quiet shore may have begun far out at sea, generated by winds that blew days earlier. The energy travels across open water in rolling patterns, sometimes crossing entire ocean basins. By the time it arrives at the coast, it may seem gentle and unhurried, yet it carries the memory of faraway weather. As you relax deeper now, imagine standing by a calm shoreline under moonlight. Hear the steady rhythm of waves meeting sand. Feel the cool air drifting inland from the water. Above, clouds move slowly, guided in part by warmth that rose from the sea earlier that day. The ocean's breath is constant. It warms and cools, absorbs and releases, evaporates and receives. It shapes wind patterns, fuels rainfall, and stabilizes climates across continents. It works quietly, without announcement, influencing skies thousands of miles away. Even now, beneath the surface of distant seas, currents flow in dark, silent pathways. Warm water drifts northward. Cold water sinks and moves southward. The cycle continues without pause. The breath of the ocean is part of the larger rhythm we have been following. The sky breathing, the wind whispering, the seasons turning. Water rises from its surface and returns as rain. Heat is absorbed and released. Energy circulates through air and sea in a vast, interconnected system. And as you drift closer to sleep, you can imagine that steady pulse continuing. Waves rising and falling. Tides moving in quiet arcs. the ocean breathing softly beneath the stars, shaping the weather of tomorrow with patient, endless calm. There are moments, often in the early hours before dawn, when the world feels as though it has been wrapped in a gentle, invisible veil. Fields, forests, and hills seem softened, their edges blurred, and distant shapes appear to float in quiet ambiguity. This is fog, or when it hovers lightly over lakes and streams, mist. Both are the same phenomenon, differing only in density and scale, yet they create an atmosphere of calm that invites deep relaxation. Fog begins quietly, with air that has cooled enough for water vapor to condense into tiny droplets. Unlike clouds high in the sky, fog rests near the ground. It forms most often on still, clear nights when the ground radiates heat into the sky and the air above it cools gently. The difference in temperature between the moist air and the surface is subtle, yet enough to trigger the transformation of invisible vapor into the soft droplets that shimmer in early light. As fog thickens, the world changes. Familiar shapes become muted, and colors fade into soft gray or pearly white. Sounds are softened as well. Footsteps on a path, the distant trickle of water, even the rustle of leaves become quieter, as though the air itself is absorbing the edges of noise. This quiet creates a unique intimacy between you and the landscape, a sense of floating in a space both enclosed and vast. Mist rising from rivers and lakes has its own delicate charm. Sunlight breaking through can scatter into sparkling rays, illuminating countless suspended droplets. Each tiny particle catches light, creating soft halos, glowing edges, and a shimmer that seems almost magical. The effect is fleeting, changing as the air moves, as the sun climbs higher, and as temperature and moisture adjust. Fog is not only a visual delight, it plays a vital role in the natural world. It provides moisture to plants in arid regions where rainfall is scarce. Forests rely on mist to hydrate leaves and soil, feeding entire ecosystems through the slow gift of condensation. Even small creatures like insects and birds take advantage of fog, drinking from droplets that form on surfaces or hiding in its gentle concealment. There are different types of fog, each with its own personality. Radiation fog forms on calm, cool nights over land, spreading quietly across valleys and fields. Advection fog occurs when warm, moist air drifts over cooler surfaces, often along coastlines, creating thick blankets that linger through the morning. Steam fog rises from lakes and rivers when cooler air passes over warmer water, curling upward in ghostly tendrils. Despite these differences, all fog shares a slow, unhurried beauty. The movement of fog is as subtle as its formation. Gentle breezes can cause it to drift, curl, and swirl. Hills and trees shape its flow, guiding it into valleys, along paths, or across open plains. Sunlight, when it penetrates, heats the droplets slightly, causing parts of the fog to lift and fade, revealing glimpses of the world beneath. Fog is never static. It is a living, breathing curtain, forming and dispersing with quiet precision. Fog also alters perception of scale and distance. Familiar objects may seem farther away, softened by layers of suspended moisture. Roads appear endless, forests more mysterious, and distant hills like illusions. This alteration is gentle, not disorienting, creating a sense of floating in a larger, slower world. Even cities experience their own versions of fog, often mingling with smoke or pollution to create a softer, diffused light at dawn. Streetlights cast halos in the mist. Sounds echo in new ways, carried or softened by the suspended droplets. The result is an urban quiet, a rare moment when the city seems to pause in reflection. In mountains, fog behaves like a slow river, flowing through valleys, clinging to slopes and hiding peaks. Climbers and hikers experience a world that feels suspended between sky and earth, where each step reveals glimpses of a landscape constantly reshaped by moisture and light. As morning progresses, sunlight warms the air and slowly lifts the fog. Droplets evaporate back into invisible vapor, returning to the atmosphere to join clouds far above. The world beneath is revealed again, brighter, sharper, and renewed. Yet the memory of fog's gentle presence lingers in the softened contours and the calm that remains. As you settle deeper into relaxation, imagine yourself surrounded by the slow swirl of mist, walking quietly through a meadow or along a riverbank. Feel the soft edges of the world blur around you. Hear the gentle hush of moving air, the faint ripple of water, the quiet sounds carried differently in moisture-laden air. The dance of fog and mist is a reminder that even the densest, most visible form of water can move with patience and elegance. It rises and falls, drifts and fades, transforming the world without hurry. And in its gentle, unhurried rhythm, there is a profound calm that invites your mind and body to release tension, float, and rest. Rain has a voice, though it speaks softly. It can tap gently on a window pane, murmur across rooftops, or drum steadily on leaves and soil. Each sound carries its own rhythm and texture, and together they form a quiet symphony that the world has listened to for millennia. Beyond the poetry, rain is a messenger of the atmosphere's delicate balance, a visible expression of air, water, and energy moving together in subtle choreography. Rain begins as invisible water vapor rising from oceans, lakes, and rivers. Warm sunlight encourages molecules to lift from the surface, traveling upward in soft currents. As the vapor ascends, it cools, condenses, and forms tiny droplets that gather into clouds. Some clouds hold these droplets lightly, drifting slowly and appearing white or pale gray. Others, growing taller and denser, form dark, looming shapes charged with the potential for heavier precipitation. When droplets collide inside these clouds, they grow larger. Eventually, gravity draws them downward, and rain begins. Each drop follows a quiet, almost meditative path, shaped by air currents, wind, and resistance. Some fall gently, creating a soft, steady tapping. Others fall in thicker sheets, a curtain of sound and motion. The music of rain changes with every environment. It is different over rooftops than on open fields, in forests than on deserts, along rivers than over lakes. The rhythm of rain has a subtle calming effect on the mind. Scientists have found that consistent, gentle rainfall can synchronize with the brain's natural waves, helping to lower stress and encourage relaxation. This is why listening to rain is often soothing, why the sound can carry you toward sleep. It is both natural and precise, a form of nature's lullaby. Rain is not uniform, it takes many forms. Drizzle falls lightly, each droplet fine and delicate. Showers are more dynamic, with variable intensity, often appearing in patches across the landscape. Thunderstorms deliver rain in powerful bursts, accompanied by lightning and gusting winds. Snow and sleet are variations of the same process, where cold temperatures transform liquid into frozen crystals. Each type creates its own unique soundscape and feeling. The world itself interacts with rain to create diverse experiences. Water striking a leaf produces a hollow, soft tap. Rain on a roof may reverberate, creating a rhythmic pattern. Puddles sing when droplets disturb their calm surfaces, sending ripples outward. Over time, these small sounds combine into a continuous texture, a layered melody of gentle motion. Rain also carries scents. As droplets land on soil, they release aromatic compounds called petrichor, which is the comforting, earthy smell we associate with fresh rain. Trees and plants exude subtle fragrances when dampened, and rivers and lakes mix with mineral scents from rocks. These smells, paired with the sound, create an immersive sensory experience that relaxes the mind. The journey of rain is part of a larger cycle. Water from precipitation nourishes rivers, seeps into soil, and replenishes aquifers. Plants absorb it, animals drink it, and eventually, much of it returns to the atmosphere through evaporation or transpiration. Rain is both a sound and a story, a continuous, patient cycle of giving and returning. Even distant storms influence the rain you may feel. Moisture carried by wind can travel hundreds or thousands of miles, spreading gentle showers across continents. A soft drizzle in one place may have begun its journey over an ocean, lifted invisibly into the sky days before. The interconnectedness is quiet, profound, and seamless. As rain falls, it softens the world's edges. Colors deepen, surfaces glisten, and reflections form on wet streets or calm lakes. Sounds carry differently in rain, muffled and softened, creating a natural ambience that invites mindfulness. Watching the sky and listening carefully can reveal subtle rhythms, patterns of intensity, pauses, and flows that almost seem orchestrated for serenity. Imagine now the gentle patter of rain on a quiet evening. Hear its soft percussion on leaves and rooftops. Notice the shifting intensity as clouds release droplets at different rates. Feel the coolness carried in the air, scented with damp earth and greenery. Each drop becomes a note, each pause a rest, forming a melody that is both natural and hypnotic. Rain reminds us that movement in nature can be calm and deliberate. Even in its power, it is patient, working silently to sustain life, shape landscapes, and cleanse the air. Its sound is a constant companion, a reminder that the atmosphere is always breathing, cycling, and flowing, carrying water in a rhythm that has persisted for billions of years. Tonight, whether far away or near, rain may be falling somewhere across the globe. Its song may reach your ears or remain unheard, but the cycle continues. Water rises, clouds form, drops fall, and the world is nourished. And as you listen with your mind's ear, you can drift deeper into rest, wrapped in the subtle, hypnotic symphony of falling rain. Snow transforms the world in a way that is both subtle and profound. When flakes drift from the sky, they descend quietly, creating a soft, almost ethereal layer over the earth. The world feels paused, slowed, and softened. Every contour is muted, every sound dampened. Snow is not merely frozen rain. It is a delicate, intricate result of temperature, moisture, and atmospheric movement, each flake carrying a unique signature of its journey through the sky. Snow begins high above the ground in clouds where temperatures fall below freezing. Tiny ice crystals form around microscopic particles, growing into intricate patterns as they collide with moisture and other crystals. The shape of each snowflake depends on the exact temperature and humidity it experiences as it descends. No two snowflakes are identical, yet they all follow the same natural principles. Some appear as simple hexagons. Others form complex dendritic patterns, feathery and elegant, like lace woven by the atmosphere itself. As snowflakes gather in clouds, they slowly accumulate into denser formations. Gravity eventually draws them downward. Unlike raindrops, snowflakes drift gently, twisting and rotating as they fall. Their delicate forms catch the light, producing the subtle sparkle that makes snowy landscapes shimmer. The air is quiet around falling snow, and the soft landing of countless flakes muffles sound, creating a serene, almost magical atmosphere. Snow blankets the world not just physically, but emotionally. Its presence slows the rhythm of life. Footsteps are softened. Roads are quieter. Even the simplest landscape, when covered in snow, takes on a tranquil, dreamlike quality. Forests, fields, and cities all change under its touch, transformed into gentle, reflective spaces. Temperature and weather patterns influence how snow forms and falls. Light snow occurs when clouds are relatively thin and droplets form small, fragile crystals. Heavy snow comes from thick, moist clouds where large flakes accumulate quickly. Snow can fall in soft drifting flurries or in steady, layered sheets, sometimes covering everything in a matter of hours. Snow also interacts with light in beautiful ways. Sunlight on fresh snow scatters in multiple directions, producing a soft glow across the landscape. Twilight adds pastel hues, pale blues, soft pinks, and gentle purples. Moonlight transforms snow into a silvery expanse, turning fields and rooftops into calm, reflective spaces. Even shadows are softened, edges diffused, creating a world that feels slower and gentler. Beneath the surface, snow plays a vital role in the natural water cycle. It acts as a reservoir, holding water in frozen form throughout the winter. When temperatures rise, snow melts gradually, feeding rivers, lakes, and aquifers. The timing of this melt is critical for ecosystems, agriculture, and human water supply, demonstrating the quiet but essential work snow performs. Snow can also influence local weather. Snow-covered ground reflects sunlight during the day, keeping air temperatures cooler. At night, it acts like a blanket, holding heat near the surface and moderating temperature swings. Its presence alters wind patterns, moisture levels, and even the formation of clouds above. There is a unique stillness associated with snow that invites contemplation. Walking through a snowy forest or field, you notice the delicate crunch beneath your feet, the crisp scent of cold air, the soft rustle of branches weighed down by frozen crystals. Snow demands attention, not in force, but in quiet, immersive presence. Even in cities, snow changes the environment. Streetlights cast halos in falling flakes. Roofs and pavements reflect muted glows. Car tires hum differently on snow-covered roads. Traffic slows naturally, creating an unexpected pause in the usual hustle. People move more deliberately, noticing details they might otherwise overlook. As you relax further, picture snow drifting from clouds, swirling in gentle currents, settling silently onto rooftops, fields, and trees. Visualize each flake as a tiny frozen sculpture, unique and fragile, coming together to create a calm, unified blanket across the landscape. Hear the faint hush of snow settling, the muffled sounds around you, the soft echo of wind moving through a frozen world. Snow is a reminder that nature's most beautiful transformations can be quiet and patient. It changes the world gently, reshapes sound, softens sight, and creates a sense of stillness. It participates in the larger rhythm of weather, water, and atmosphere, rising, falling, freezing, melting, all in harmony with the planet's steady cycles. Tonight, somewhere on Earth, snowflakes are falling silently from the sky, performing their delicate dance. Each one contributes to a larger, patient rhythm, a quiet art that shapes landscapes, nourishes life, and invites minds to rest. And as you imagine these drifting flakes, you can feel a sense of calm settling within yourself, mirroring the serene, frozen world outside. Humidity is the quiet, invisible presence in the air that touches every breath you take. You may not see it, but you can feel its effects. The weight of warm, moist air on a summer evening, the cool softness of damp air in a forest, the subtle relief when dry air gives way to a gentle mist. Humidity is simply the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere, yet it shapes weather, comfort, and even the pace of life in ways we often take for granted. Air always contains some water vapor, rising from oceans, lakes, rivers, soil, and vegetation. The amount of vapor the air can hold depends on temperature. Warm air can carry more moisture than cool air. When air approaches its capacity, it is said to be saturated, and clouds or dew may form. The subtle interplay between temperature and moisture creates everything from a soft morning mist to heavy tropical humidity. High humidity affects how we experience temperature. On a warm summer day, the air can feel heavy, almost thick, because moisture slows the evaporation of sweat from our skin. This is why humid heat feels more intense than dry heat, even if the thermometer shows the same number. Conversely, dry air allows moisture to evaporate quickly, creating a sensation of coolness or crispness. The same principle guides the rhythm of weather across different climates. Humidity is also responsible for dew and frost. On calm nights, when the ground cools faster than the air above, moisture condenses onto grass, leaves, and rooftops, forming tiny droplets. These droplets sparkle in early light, creating a quiet, reflective beauty. When temperatures fall below freezing, dew transforms into frost, a delicate layer of ice crystals that softens and illuminates the landscape in pale winter light. The movement of humid air contributes to clouds, rain, and storms. Rising warm, moist air cools as it ascends, and water vapor condenses into droplets or ice crystals. This process fuels precipitation from soft rain to heavy snow, and even the formation of thunderstorms. In tropical regions, high humidity coupled with strong sunlight creates towering clouds and frequent rainfall, nourishing lush ecosystems. Humidity affects more than just weather. It influences plant growth, soil moisture, and even the behavior of animals. Forests rely on consistent humidity to maintain leaf hydration and regulate temperature. Insects and amphibians depend on moisture to survive. Even humans notice it subconsciously, adjusting clothing, activity levels, and comfort throughout the day. In coastal regions, humidity interacts with sea breezes and fog. Warm, moist air from the ocean moves inland, while cooler air from the land flows out to sea. Where these air masses meet, condensation can form mist, light rain, or dense fog, creating a calm, reflective environment that softens sounds and colors. In cities, high humidity can amplify light, creating shimmering heat haze during the day, while at night it can hold warmth near the surface, prolonging a gentle evening calm. Humidity is not static, it fluctuates throughout the day. Morning often begins with higher relative humidity, as cooler temperatures reduce the air's capacity to hold moisture. As the sun rises, air warms, and relative humidity may drop, even if the total amount of water vapor remains constant. Evening brings cooling again, raising relative humidity and sometimes producing dew or fog. This slow, predictable cycle is part of the Earth's subtle breathing, a rhythm that gently shapes daily life. The sensation of humidity can also influence perception and relaxation. Warm, moist air can feel enveloping and comforting, like a soft blanket over the landscape. It can make the scent of soil, flowers, and rain more noticeable, adding depth to the sensory world. Dry air, conversely, carries clarity, allowing sounds and distant views to feel sharper and more defined. Each variation has its own quiet appeal, a natural cue that guides perception and mood. As you settle deeper into rest, imagine a gentle, humid evening. The air is soft and slightly heavy, carrying the faint scent of earth and vegetation. Leaves glisten with moisture, and a slow, steady breeze moves across the landscape. Perhaps a nearby pond reflects moonlight, its surface calm, rippled only by the soft hum of air moving above. Humidity is a quiet artist of the atmosphere, shaping clouds, rain, fog, and comfort in subtle, interconnected ways. It reminds us that air is never empty, that every breath carries particles, energy, and moisture, all moving in delicate balance. Its influence is continuous, gentle, and pervasive, touching every corner of the planet. Tonight, as the world cools and air settles, humidity rises slightly near the ground. Moisture condenses quietly on surfaces. Clouds drift softly above. The atmosphere maintains its slow, patient rhythm, orchestrating water, heat, and air with perfect harmony. And as you imagine these gentle currents, you can feel your own body syncing with the calm, slow pulse of the humid night. Air pressure is invisible, yet it is one of the most fundamental forces shaping weather and our daily experience. We cannot see it, and we often do not notice it, but it is present in every breath we take, every cloud that drifts above, and every breeze that brushes our skin. Air pressure is the weight of the atmosphere pressing down on the Earth. At sea level, it is surprisingly heavy, equivalent to thousands of kilograms per square meter, but because it is evenly distributed, we rarely feel its force directly. Pressure changes are created when air is warmed, cooled, or moved. Warm air rises because it is lighter, leaving a small area of lower pressure beneath it. Cool air sinks because it is denser, creating a region of higher pressure. Air naturally flows from areas of high pressure to areas of low pressure, and this movement is what we perceive as wind. Even the gentlest breeze is the atmosphere adjusting itself, seeking balance, redistributing weight and energy quietly across the planet. High-pressure systems often bring calm, clear conditions. Air sinks gently, preventing clouds from forming, and light spreads evenly across the landscape. These moments feel stable and comforting, a slow, predictable state that allows the world to breathe quietly. Low-pressure systems, on the other hand, encourage rising air and condensation, often resulting in clouds, rain, or storms. They are the catalysts of change, moving moisture and energy through the atmosphere in graceful yet dynamic patterns. The distribution of pressure over large distances creates intricate systems. Across continents and oceans, ridges of high pressure and troughs of low pressure form undulating patterns that migrate slowly with the sun's energy and the Earth's rotation. These systems guide storms, influence wind direction, and shape the flow of weather across vast regions. A hurricane, for example, is an extreme low-pressure system where warm, moist air rises rapidly, drawing surrounding air inward in a swirling, hypnotic dance. Pressure also interacts with temperature and altitude. At higher elevations, the air is thinner, exerting less weight, which is why mountain climbers carry oxygen and feel lighter air pressure. Even small variations near the ground can affect how we feel. Our bodies are finely tuned to these forces, responding subtly to changes in weather through joint stiffness, headaches, or the crispness of the air. Air pressure can shape clouds and precipitation in quiet, elegant ways. Rising air in low-pressure regions condenses water vapor into clouds. Descending air in high-pressure zones suppresses cloud formation, creating clear skies. These shifts are not sudden or violent. They unfold gradually, like the breathing of the planet, orchestrating weather in subtle, continuous rhythms. Pressure differences also create local phenomena. Sea breezes, for instance, occur when pressure contrasts develop between cooler ocean air and warmer land air. Mountain winds, valley breezes, and katabatic flows all arise from variations in temperature and the resulting air pressure. Each contributes to a delicate balance, moving energy and moisture through landscapes at speeds and directions often too gentle to notice consciously. Even indoors, air pressure affects our experience. The rise of warm air from heating systems, the draft near an open window, the slight hiss of ventilation, all are expressions of air adjusting itself to maintain equilibrium. Though subtle, these currents shape comfort, perception, and the quiet ambience of our surroundings. Imagine now a world where air pressure is gently shifting, imperceptibly shaping every moment. Clouds float or disperse. Breezes ripple through trees. Moisture rises and condenses, forming dew or fog. Every subtle change is part of an invisible, continuous flow that sustains life, maintains balance, and guides the rhythms of the planet. Air pressure is like the heartbeat of the atmosphere, steady, constant, yet capable of variation. It influences wind, precipitation, storms, and the gentle moods of clear days. It is a silent architect of the sky, invisible but essential, shaping the weather we experience with every inhalation. As you relax further, picture the atmosphere pressing gently around you. Imagine the high and low pressure regions moving across the globe, redistributing warmth, moisture, and energy with patient precision. Feel the subtle movement in the air, the soft currents brushing your skin, and know that even in invisibility, pressure is always present, orchestrating the sky and world above in a slow, comforting rhythm. Wind is the atmosphere in motion, a subtle, invisible force that shapes weather, carries moisture, and moves heat across the globe. Unlike storms or rain, which announce themselves with sound or sight, wind can be gentle and nearly imperceptible, brushing lightly against your skin, rustling leaves, or carrying the faint scent of distant oceans and forests. It is the quiet, ever-present circulation of air, born from differences in temperature and pressure, and guided by the Earth's rotation. Air moves because nature seeks balance. Warm air rises, leaving a small void of lower pressure. Cooler air descends, creating high-pressure pockets. Wind is the movement that fills these gaps, flowing from high to low pressure. The speed and direction depend on temperature differences, pressure gradients, and obstacles like mountains, valleys, and buildings. Even a soft breeze is a careful adjustment in the atmosphere, a slow transfer of energy across the planet. There are many types of wind, each with its own personality. Gentle valley breezes arise during the day when sun-warmed air rises along slopes, drawing cooler air upward from lower areas. At night, the process reverses, creating cooler downslope flows called mountain or katabatic winds. Coastal regions experience sea breezes during the day and land breezes at night, each rhythmically responding to temperature differences between water and land. Wind interacts with the world in fascinating ways. It carries clouds, disperses fog, spreads moisture, and shapes the formation of precipitation. It influences ocean currents, redistributes heat, and moves tiny particles like dust and pollen. It can sculpt sand dunes, whisper through forests, and send ripples across lakes and rivers. Each movement is part of the same slow, interconnected system, quietly shaping the environment over time. Sometimes, wind is nearly silent. A barely noticeable draft can cool the skin, rustle grasses, or stir leaves, creating a soft, hypnotic sound. In deserts or plains, even faint currents move clouds of sand, shifting landscapes imperceptibly. In cities, wind navigates alleys and streets, bringing scents from one block to another, sometimes carrying the distant murmur of rain or the faint aroma of earth and vegetation. Stronger winds, like those in storms or cyclones, are the same process intensified. Pressure differences grow, warm, moist air rises rapidly, and air moves more forcefully to fill the voids. Even these powerful gusts follow the invisible rules of nature, guided by temperature, moisture, and the Earth's rotation. The difference is in intensity, not in principle. Wind also has a subtle influence on human perception. A gentle breeze on a hot day can feel refreshing, lowering the perceived temperature by aiding evaporation from the skin. In cold regions, wind can make already chilly air feel sharper, a reminder of the atmosphere's dynamic energy. Even indoors, ventilation and airflow affect comfort, creating a subconscious connection to the world outside. The sound of wind can be mesmerizing. It whistles through branches, sways tall grasses, and hums softly along rooftops. When it moves through forests, it seems to converse with the trees, creating patterns of rustle, hush, and gentle swaying. Over open plains or lakes, it moves freely, carrying waves and ripples in rhythm with its invisible currents. Wind can also carry distant signals. A change in its direction may bring cooler air from the mountains or moist air from the ocean. Sailors, farmers, and hikers have relied on wind patterns for centuries, reading its subtle signs to anticipate weather, temperature, and precipitation. Its presence is a quiet guide, a natural barometer moving constantly across the landscape. As you imagine the wind now, picture soft currents flowing across a gentle valley. Hear the whisper of leaves, feel the movement brushing lightly against your skin, and notice the slow, calming rhythm it creates. The world feels alive yet serene, moving in subtle, continuous adjustments that maintain balance. The whisper of wind is a gentle reminder that air is never static. It carries warmth, moisture, and energy, shaping clouds, waves, and even temperature with quiet precision. It is the invisible storyteller of the sky, moving ceaselessly, softly guiding the atmosphere in its patient, soothing rhythm. Tonight, let your mind drift with the wind. Imagine it flowing past forests, rivers, and mountains, brushing across open fields and still lakes. Its movement is constant, its touch gentle, and in its quiet rhythm, you can feel the world breathing slowly and peacefully around you. Lightning is the sky's quiet spectacle, a sudden, dazzling thread of energy that illuminates clouds in brief, radiant flashes. Though it can appear violent from afar, lightning is simply the atmosphere balancing itself, releasing built-up electrical energy in a precise, natural rhythm. Each bolt is a fleeting, graceful display of power, a reminder that even the most dramatic events in nature follow invisible laws and patterns. Lightning forms inside towering clouds where warm, moist air rises rapidly. Droplets and ice particles collide, exchanging electrical charges. Positive charges accumulate near the top of the cloud, while negative charges gather at the base. This separation creates tension, a slow buildup of energy, patiently stored over minutes or hours. When the difference becomes great enough, a sudden discharge occurs. Lightning flashes, momentarily bridging the gap between charges within the cloud, between clouds, or even between the cloud and the ground. The visual beauty of lightning is striking. Bolts may branch like delicate tree limbs or streak as a straight, luminous line across the sky. The light is intensely bright but brief, revealing hidden textures within clouds and illuminating landscapes in stark, fleeting clarity. The shapes are unpredictable yet follow the natural physics of electrical discharge, creating patterns that are unique in every storm. Thunder accompanies lightning, a rolling sound produced by rapid expansion of air heated by the bolt. The delay between the flash and the sound provides a sense of distance, allowing observers to gauge how far away the storm lies. The rumble can be soft and distant, almost imperceptible, or loud and resonant, echoing across hills and valleys. In its gentleness, thunder can become a soothing rhythm, a reminder of natural energy moving slowly and powerfully through the atmosphere. Lightning influences rainfall and weather subtly as well. It often occurs within cumulonimbus clouds, where intense upward currents drive moisture higher into the atmosphere. The electric discharge can help initiate droplet formation, assisting the cloud in releasing rain. In this way, lightning is not only a visual marvel but also a participant in the delicate balance of storms and precipitation. Beyond clouds, lightning interacts with the Earth itself. Positive and negative charges may connect with tall structures, trees, or the ground, temporarily redistributing energy. Even these exchanges are part of a natural system, occurring without chaos, governed by the principles of electricity and atmospheric motion. Observing lightning safely can be mesmerizing. Watching distant flashes illuminate dark skies, silhouettes of trees, mountains, or buildings momentarily revealed, engages the imagination and attention. Its unpredictability contrasts with the slower, gentler rhythms of wind, clouds, and rain, creating a dynamic balance in the environment. Lightning also influences the air chemically. The intense energy splits nitrogen and oxygen molecules, forming nitrogen oxides. These compounds interact with rain and soil, subtly nourishing ecosystems. Even in its brilliance, lightning contributes quietly to life on Earth, linking the sky and surface in a continuous cycle. As you relax now, imagine a distant storm unfolding. Towering clouds rise silently, gathering energy. A gentle flash of lightning streaks across the sky, illuminating edges of clouds with silver light. Thunder rumbles far away, softened by distance. Raindrops begin to fall, some forming delicate patterns on leaves and rooftops. The spectacle is vivid yet calming, a natural pulse of energy woven into the broader rhythm of weather. Lightning reminds us that even intense forces can coexist with quiet, patient systems. The same air currents, rising moisture, and temperature differences that form gentle clouds and soft rain also produce these brilliant displays. It is all part of one vast, interconnected dance of energy and moisture, of balance and release. Tonight, somewhere far from you, lightning may flicker across the horizon. It flashes briefly, illuminating the sky and clouds, then fades. In its wake, the atmosphere continues its steady motion, air rising, clouds drifting, moisture circulating. And as you imagine this gentle spectacle, you can feel your mind reflecting the calm rhythm of the storm, witnessing power and serenity intertwined in a quiet, natural dance. There is a unique stillness that follows a storm, a quiet moment when the atmosphere seems to exhale and the world softens under its gentle touch. Rain may have ceased, leaving only tiny droplets shimmering on leaves, rooftops, and blades of grass. Clouds begin to drift apart, revealing patches of pale blue sky. The wind slows, moving lazily through trees and across open fields, carrying the clean, refreshed scent of earth and water. This calm is not sudden. The storm's energy gradually dissipates as air pressure stabilizes and temperatures adjust. Moisture still lingers in the atmosphere, and tiny currents continue to move, invisible but perceptible. Fog or mist may rise from wet ground, curling softly around trees and rocks. Rivers and streams swell gently from runoff, flowing with a steady, soothing rhythm. The world seems both alive and hushed, as if resting after exertion. Sunlight often returns in these moments, casting soft, golden rays that filter through remaining clouds. Each beam illuminates droplets, creating fleeting prisms and glimmers. The landscape seems renewed, vibrant yet calm. Shadows stretch and shift as clouds continue to move, and the gentle rustle of leaves or grass reminds us that even in stillness, nature continues its quiet work. Birds and animals gradually re-emerge. Insects hum softly. Leaves glisten with dew. The scents of wet soil, moss, and foliage rise into the air, mingling with traces of ozone left by lightning. The atmosphere feels cleaner, fresher, and lighter, as though the storm has not only released water and energy but also washed away tension, leaving clarity and balance. Water cycles continue quietly in the aftermath. Evaporation rises from puddles and wet soil, feeding clouds above and sustaining moisture in the air. Rivers continue their gentle flow. The energy of the storm, once intense and dramatic, now disperses as part of the steady rhythm of the planet. Each raindrop that fell is absorbed, utilized, or returned to the air, contributing to life and balance. The calm after a storm carries lessons for perception and mindfulness. Observing the world in this quiet phase allows one to notice subtle changes, the way sunlight glimmers on wet surfaces, how shadows are sharper yet softened, how air smells and feels. It is a time for reflection, a natural pause that encourages the mind to rest and the body to synchronize with the Earth's rhythms. Even after the largest storm, life continues in gentle motions. Streams continue their flow, leaves sway slowly, and clouds move steadily overhead. The wind may carry only a soft whisper now, brushing gently across the land. There is no urgency, no rush, only continuity and balance. Imagine yourself standing outside after a storm has passed. The ground is moist beneath your feet. A soft breeze brushes your skin. Sunlight warms the air gradually. A bird calls in the distance. The world feels alive yet serene, restored and quietly renewed. This moment is both peaceful and invigorating, a gentle reminder of the interconnected rhythms of air, water, and energy. The calm after a storm also signifies the resilience of nature. Life adapts, water nourishes, and the atmosphere restores its equilibrium. It demonstrates the balance between intensity and serenity, between movement and stillness. Every storm, no matter how powerful, eventually gives way to a softer, steady state. As you drift deeper into relaxation, picture clouds breaking apart to reveal the soft glow of the sun. Hear the gentle drip of leftover raindrops from leaves and rooftops. Smell the freshness of earth and foliage. Feel the subtle currents of air on your skin. The world, refreshed and balanced, invites your mind to rest in the same calm, steady rhythm. Tonight, wherever you are, the same quiet restoration is happening somewhere across the globe. Storms pass. Air settles. Water returns to its gentle cycles. And in this enduring calm, you can align your thoughts and breath with the patient, natural rhythm of the world, letting go of tension and sinking deeper into peace. Far from the hustle of daily life, near the poles of the earth, a quiet spectacle unfolds in the night sky, the aurora. Also called the northern or southern lights, these ethereal ribbons of color drift and shimmer, painting the heavens in soft greens, pinks, purples, and occasionally deep reds. Unlike thunderstorms or heavy rains, the aurora does not roar or strike. It moves gracefully, almost meditatively, a celestial dance that soothes the senses while reminding us of the vastness and interconnectedness of Earth and space. Auroras are created when charged particles from the sun, carried by the solar wind, encounter the Earth's magnetic field. This invisible shield guides the particles toward the polar regions. When they collide with atoms and molecules in the upper atmosphere, energy is released in the form of light. Each flash is not abrupt but fluid, creating waves and curtains that ripple across the sky in slow, mesmerizing patterns. The colors of an aurora are dictated by the type of gas and the altitude of the collisions. Oxygen high in the atmosphere produces faint red glows, while lower oxygen produces brilliant green shades. Nitrogen can create deep purples and blues. These colors blend softly, moving continuously as the charged particles interact with the magnetic field. The effect is both dynamic and calm, a natural light show that feels timeless and soothing. Auroras also respond to solar activity. During periods of strong solar winds, displays are more intense, yet even the most vivid aurora retains a gentle, flowing quality. It is not chaotic. It is rhythmic, guided by invisible forces, and its movement is continuous rather than sudden. Observing it can create a sense of awe, relaxation, and profound connection to the planet and the cosmos. The quiet of the polar night enhances the experience. Surrounded by snow or frozen landscapes, the aurora's colors appear even more vivid against the dark sky. Silence reigns, broken only by the occasional soft whisper of wind over snow or the distant murmur of ice shifting. The effect is hypnotic, almost meditative, encouraging slow, deep breaths and a sense of calm focus. Auroras are more than beauty. They are indicators of the Earth's magnetic and atmospheric systems in motion. They are visual evidence of the solar wind's energy interacting with the planet, reminding us that Earth exists within a larger cosmic system. Every flicker, curve, and shimmer reflects the balance of magnetic fields, charged particles, and atmospheric gases in a quiet, harmonious rhythm. Even in urban settings, auroras can influence our perception of the night. Their distant glow can color the horizon or shift the tint of clouds under rare circumstances, subtly enhancing the feeling of wonder and connection to nature. For those fortunate enough to witness them directly, the effect can be transformative, inspiring a deep sense of serenity and stillness. Imagine yourself lying on a snow-covered hill under a vast, dark sky. Above, ribbons of green, purple, and pink wave slowly, twisting and curling in a slow, hypnotic rhythm. The air is crisp but gentle. You hear nothing but the faint rustle of the wind, perhaps the distant crackle of ice or snow settling. Your gaze follows the undulating patterns, your mind softening, thoughts slowing, senses opening to the gentle majesty above. The aurora reminds us that movement and calm can coexist. The charged particles travel with incredible speed, yet the display they create is soft, flowing, and mesmerizing. It teaches patience, subtlety, and the beauty of natural systems working in harmony. As you drift deeper into relaxation, picture these luminous curtains slowly shifting across the night sky. Watch their colors change, fade, and rise again. Feel the calm of the polar night surround you. Know that somewhere on Earth, the aurora continues its timeless dance, a gentle, patient display of the planet's interaction with the sun, inviting your mind to synchronize with its tranquil rhythm. Thunderstorms are often thought of as loud, energetic, and even frightening, yet there is a quieter, mesmerizing side to them, a rhythm and flow that can be deeply calming when observed safely from a distance. Beyond the rolling thunder and flashing lightning, these storms are composed of cycles of energy, moisture, and movement that unfold slowly and predictably, creating a natural spectacle of power tempered by order. A thunderstorm begins with warm, moist air rising from the ground. As the air ascends, it cools, and water vapor condenses into tiny droplets, forming clouds that swell higher and higher into the atmosphere. This vertical growth stores energy, tension, and moisture. Within these clouds, droplets collide, charges separate, and the atmosphere prepares to release energy in the form of lightning and thunder. Yet even as dramatic flashes occur, much of the storm's energy moves gently, shaping winds, distributing rainfall, and feeding rivers and soil. Rain in thunderstorms can vary from a soft drizzle to a steady, calming sheet. Even heavy rain, when observed from a distance, produces a hypnotic pattern of motion and sound. Droplets cascade rhythmically, each tapping and merging with others, creating layers of texture and a natural percussion that can soothe the mind. The scent of wet earth rises as the rain falls, a rich blend of soil, vegetation, and freshness that deepens the feeling of calm and connection to nature. Lightning, though visually striking, follows a delicate logic. Each bolt seeks the path of least resistance, flowing along invisible channels of charged air. Bolts illuminate the clouds, revealing shapes, contours, and movement that might otherwise go unnoticed. When combined with the rolling, delayed sound of thunder, the effect is almost musical, a soft prelude, a visual crescendo, and a lingering, gentle echo that resonates with the surrounding environment. Thunderstorms also produce subtle winds. Rising air in the storm creates updrafts, while cooler, denser air descends in downdrafts. These air currents move in patterns that balance temperature and pressure, distributing moisture and energy. Even as the storm appears dramatic, much of its motion is silent, a slow, measured circulation that nurtures the ecosystem below. Trees bend gently with the wind, rivers swell softly with runoff, and clouds drift in patterns dictated by atmospheric currents. After the heaviest rain passes, a storm often leaves behind mist or fog, softening the landscape. Sunlight may break through remaining clouds, casting reflective patterns on wet surfaces. The air feels fresh, clean, and slightly cooler. Birds and animals cautiously re-emerge, and leaves glisten with droplets that catch the light. The rhythm of the storm transitions into a gentle, restorative cycle, reinforcing balance in the environment. Observing a thunderstorm safely can induce a meditative state. The interplay of sound, light, movement, and scent engages the senses without overwhelming them. Even the most dramatic elements, lightning and thunder, follow natural patterns, reminding the mind that chaos is only surface deep, underpinned by calm, precise energy flows. Thunderstorms illustrate the balance of the atmosphere: warm, rising air, cool, descending air, moisture cycling through evaporation and precipitation, energy building and releasing. Each storm, while unique, unfolds according to principles that repeat endlessly across the planet. There is a quiet poetry in this repetition, a slow and patient orchestration of nature's forces. Imagine now standing at a safe distance, perhaps inside your home or on a sheltered hill. The sky is layered with clouds, some dark and heavy, others illuminated by fleeting flashes of lightning. Rain taps steadily on leaves and rooftops. A gentle wind stirs the air. Thunder rolls softly in the distance, its rhythm deep and resonant. Every sense is engaged, yet the overall experience is calming, a reminder of nature's balance and enduring order. As you settle further into relaxation, visualize the storm slowly passing. Clouds drift apart. Rain diminishes to soft droplets. The air cools and scents of wet earth rise. Birds resume their songs. Leaves sway lightly in the residual breeze. The storm's energy, once concentrated and dramatic, now disperses gently across the landscape, leaving behind a serene, balanced world. The gentle rhythm of thunderstorms reminds us that even powerful forces can be part of a quiet, continuous system. Energy builds, flows, and dissipates in measured patterns. Moisture cycles, air moves, and the environment adjusts, all in a patient, interconnected rhythm. By witnessing or imagining this flow, your mind can synchronize with nature's tempo, finding calm amidst the storm. As we arrive at the final chapter of this slow journey through the world of weather, it becomes clear that every breeze, raindrop, snowflake, and ray of sunlight is part of a vast, continuous cycle. The atmosphere, oceans, land, and living creatures are interconnected in a delicate, patient dance that has persisted for billions of years. Weather is not merely a series of random events. It is the Earth breathing, moving, and restoring balance across the planet in a gentle, rhythmic flow. The cycle begins with energy from the sun's sunlight warms the Earth's surface unevenly. Oceans absorb heat slowly, land warms more quickly, and polar regions receive less sunlight than the tropics. This uneven heating creates subtle differences in air pressure, temperature, and humidity, setting the atmosphere in motion. Warm air rises, cool air sinks, and moisture circulates, forming clouds, fog, rain, snow, and winds in an ongoing, harmonious system. Water, in its various forms, plays a central role. Evaporation carries moisture from oceans, rivers, and soil into the sky, forming invisible rivers of water vapor. Condensation transforms this vapor into clouds, mist, or dew. Precipitation returns water to the earth, nourishing forests, rivers, and aquifers. Snow and ice store water for months or years, releasing it slowly as they melt. This cycle is both gentle and persistent, sustaining life while maintaining the balance of ecosystems. Wind, guided by differences in air pressure, redistributes energy across the globe. Gentle breezes cool land and carry scents. Stronger currents move clouds, drive storms, and transport heat from equatorial regions to the poles. Even the quietest, almost imperceptible air currents play a role in regulating temperature, supporting plant and animal life, and sustaining the atmosphere's rhythm. Thunderstorms, lightning, and fog are variations of this same system, different expressions of energy, moisture, and pressure interacting. Each event, no matter how dramatic or gentle, is part of the Earth's ongoing conversation with the sun, the oceans, and the sky. Even distant storms or auroras are linked in subtle ways to the movement of energy and matter across the planet. The cycle of weather also shapes time itself. Seasonal changes arise from the Earth's tilt and orbit around the sun. Summers, winters, monsoons, and dry seasons are predictable patterns resulting from the slow, patient movement of air and water. Life adapts to these rhythms, plants and animals timing reproduction, migration, and growth to align with the planet's cycles. Humans, too, experience comfort, activity, and reflection according to these patterns. Weather is both dynamic and calming. Each day brings new variations, yet the underlying systems remain consistent. Clouds drift, rain falls, winds shift, and the sun rises and sets in a continuous loop. Observing or imagining these movements can induce a sense of peace, a reminder that the Earth maintains its balance with quiet patience. As night falls and stars appear, the cycle continues invisibly. Air currents rise and fall. Moisture drifts into clouds. Ocean currents carry warmth. Snowflakes rest or melt. Even in darkness, the world breathes, patiently cycling energy and matter, creating the conditions for life to flourish. Now, as you close your eyes, picture the Earth's vast systems moving in harmony. Oceans exhale moisture. Winds whisper over valleys and mountains. Clouds drift slowly across skies, releasing gentle rain or sparkling snow. Thunderstorms roll in and out, and distant auroras shimmer above polar landscapes. Every element moves with purpose, yet effortlessly, contributing to an endless, calming rhythm. The endless cycle of weather is a lullaby sung by the planet itself, a soft, continuous melody of air, water, and energy flowing in harmony. As you allow your mind to follow this rhythm, your body and thoughts begin to align with the slow, gentle pulse of the Earth. Breathe deeply. Feel the quiet movement of air and moisture around you. Let the cycles of wind, rain, snow, and sun carry your consciousness into serenity. And in this final, tranquil chapter, you realize that weather is more than temperature or storms. It is a patient, endless flow, a natural rhythm that connects all life. As you drift into deep, restful sleep, the world outside continues its gentle, infinite cycle, and you are carried along in harmony with its soothing, enduring rhythm.